Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd family a part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. Wanted to start out the video by saying that I hope everyone had a very Merry Christmas. I was going to do a video yesterday and then I thought, you know what? It's Christmas, so I'm going to take the day off. Hopefully everybody understands that. I may take next Saturday off as well since it is New Year's. I'm not sure yet. I may do a video. I have not yet decided, but I hope everybody enjoyed Christmas with their friends and family. And then I want to say that I hope everybody likes my new hat. That was one of my Christmas presents. You can never have too many Clemson hats or Clemson merchandise in general, so I figured I would wear it for the video since I just got the hat. And I figured we would wrap up the week of Christmas by talking about some of the big things that have happened in the world of sports this week. Not everything, just some of the things that are worth talking about. And as always, if you have any comments on anything that I'm going to discuss, please feel free to let me know. Texas A&M chickened out of their bowl game. You can believe what you want to. That's the only problem I have with everything going on right now is you can back out of a football game, baseball game, basketball game, whatever it is, and blame it on sickness when in reality you just didn't want to play. I mean, let's face it, Wake Forest scored 35 points on everybody they played in the regular season except for Clemson. And A&M has an average offense at best. And the quarterback they've been playing all year long, Calzada, or as I call him, Calzone, has announced he's transferring, so he can't play. And he was the backup. Their actual starting quarterback, Hayes King, got hurt at the very beginning of the season and has missed the entire season. So A&M had no quarterback. So they knew they were going to get destroyed because you can't score when you have no quarterback. So they're using the sickness as an excuse when the reality of it was they just didn't want to get embarrassed. Because if you recall, last year Florida, going into their bowl game, they were supposed to be, a top 5 team and it wasn't going to be close and all that kind of nonsense. And then Florida got destroyed. And then after the game, Dan Mullen tried to find 85 excuses as to why they got beat instead of just saying, we got beat. Well, instead of Jimbo having to go through that same thing, he just figured he would just go ahead and back out, because if you read what A&M said, they even said in the statement that due to injuries and transfers and sickness. But then it also said they only had 38 players. Well, last I checked, it only takes 22. So they had plenty of players. They just didn't want to get embarrassed. So A&M chickened out this week. And then we had Central Florida getting somewhat a bit of revenge on Florida in their bowl game on Thursday night. And I say that because a few years back, Central Florida tried to schedule Florida in the regular season, and Florida wouldn't play them. And this was, back when Central Florida was a top 5 team, and you kind of can't blame Florida for not playing the game because of the fact that even though Central Florida is generally really, really good, and I do think that with Gus Malzahn, they're going to get back to being really, really good. But even though they're generally a really good team, Florida should still beat them the majority of the time. So Florida knew that if they played Central Florida and they beat them, people were just going to say, well, you're supposed to beat them. But if you played Central Florida and they beat you, you'll never hear the end of it. So Florida just thought, well, we can't really win in that situation, so we're just not going to play. But they played in a bowl game Thursday night, and of course Florida was only 6-6 this year. They weren't any good, so Central Florida beat them, and it was the only bowl game as of right now that really had a bunch of fisticuffs. You could tell during the whole entire game that some point in time there was going to be either a brawl or almost brawl, because both teams wanted to play that game, and then after the game there was almost a brawl, and luckily they were able to break it up so nobody got injured or hurt. And then I just want to bring this up because to me it doesn't get mentioned enough. This shouldn't just be a Christmas week article or a Christmas week talk, Christmas week conversation. This should get more talk. This just goes to show the kind of culture that Clemson has. Almost every year now, in every bowl game, there's somebody that decides, for whatever reason, that they're not going to play in that bowl game. Well, Clemson's bowl game is now 3 days away, and of course we know they've made the playoffs 6 straight years, so even though they've got a chance to win their 11th straight 10-win season, a lot of people look at this season as a letdown because they're playing in the Cheez-It Bowl. But as of right now, they've had 0 players that are healthy, that are able to play, that have opted out. So everybody that's able to play as of right now is going to play. So you should never again question the culture of Dabo Swinney at Clemson. You want to know why they're a perennial powerhouse every year? That's your reason right there. And we also had the Tennessee Titans looking like they got back on track with their win over San Francisco that happened this past Thursday night in Thursday Night Football. They've been a little up and down ever since Derrick Henry got hurt. But, of course, rumor still is that he'll be back when the playoffs get here. I don't know if I believe that or not because just the other day they were saying that the injury he has, if he comes back even a week too soon, this could have some long-term effects. But the rumor is he's going to be back when the playoffs get here. And then, of course, we had the Cleveland Browns losing again yesterday. They're now 7-8. Another disappointing season. I'll be so glad when people stop talking about Baker Mayfield and the Browns are back because I have yet to see it. They thought that Odell Beckham Jr. was the problem with him being a cancer in the locker room, so they let him go, traded him, ever how you want to look at it, and they still continue to be a letdown. I just don't think they have the talent they think they have. Yes, they have upgraded talent compared to what the Browns were for years, but still, to me, if you look at their talent on their team from top to bottom, they're just an average at best football team, which is what they are now. They pretty much hover around 500, which is an average football team. And then we had Cody Bellinger re-signing with the Dodgers. Word didn't come out until Friday, but supposedly this deal was agreed to before Major League Baseball had their lockdown, which was 3 weeks ago. So I'm not sure why it took 3 weeks for a word to come out, but word didn't come out on Friday that Cody Bellinger signed a 1-year deal, I believe, for $17 million with the Dodgers. And then in case you have not heard, I wanted to mention this, that this past week, I believe it was on Tuesday, but it might have been on Wednesday, but Marcus Satterfield, who is, as of right now, and I say that because some people say he's going to be fired after their bowl game, but Marcus Satterfield, as of right now, is the offensive coordinator for the South Carolina Gamecocks, and he did a press conference one day this past week that he was talking about some of the things he said to Spencer Rattler when he was trying to recruit him to come to South Carolina. And it caught my attention because of what he said. And if you think I'm making this up, then you can get on YouTube and type up Marcus Satterfield's press conference about Spencer Rattler, and you can see what he said. But he claims that he told Spencer Rattler, everybody in the country thinks you stink right now as a quarterback. But everybody in the country also thinks that I stink right now as a play caller. So why don't you come here and we can just prove everybody wrong together? Now, maybe he's being honest. Maybe everybody does think Spencer Rattler stinks as a quarterback. But that's kind of a weird way to recruit somebody, to just come out and tell them, hey, everybody thinks you stink. I guess that's kind of better than saying everybody thinks you suck. But still, it doesn't seem like a very good recruiting tool to tell somebody, hey, everybody thinks you stink, and they think I stink too, so why don't you come here? But now, a lot of people do think Satterfield is going to be fired or demoted after their bowl game, which is later on this week. But I just don't know because, first of all, they have no quarterback, which is why Spencer Rattler's going there because he knows he'll be the starter as soon as he steps foot on campus. But all the quarterbacks they played this year, every one of them suck. And even if they had a great quarterback, they have no wide receivers at all. The only decent thing they have on offense is the running game. They've got a couple of pretty good running backs, but that's all they have. So maybe their offense does look dreadful, which it does, but can you blame it on Satterfield when your offense has absolutely no playmakers anywhere? I don't know. To me, you can't blame their offensive problems on Satterfield, but there's a rumor that, hey, he may be fired after their bowl game, so we will find out if that's true because, like I said, their bowl game is coming up later on this week when they play North Carolina in the Duke's Mayonnaise Bowl. And ain't it funny that North Carolina and Duke are rivals, and North Carolina's playing in a bowl game that has the word Duke in the sponsor. Once again, any comments or anything I talked about today, please feel free to let me know. And if you have any early comments on any of the bowl games coming up this week, please feel free to let me know. I know we've already had more than 10 bowl games that have already been played, but to me, even though ESPN tries to advertise bowl week starting on the 18th of December, to me, bowl season starts now because starting now pretty much all the way through New Year's, there's bowl games almost every single day, and some of those days there's bowl games starting at 11 o'clock in the morning and then they're on all day long. So to me, this is officially bowl season, and we'll be talking about some of those bowl games, if not all the bowl games, coming up starting tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Why are spiders so smart? They can find everything on the web. And that wraps it up for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family how much you love them. Bye.